Uh, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from where you're watching from. This is Dr. Masi Mutahi, and I'm joined by,
Alan Hoy.
yeah, Karibu.
Or should I add my title? No, it's not necessary. The title is not necessary. Karibu sana. Ama mimi niseme wewe ndio unasema karibu, mimi niseme asanti. Asanti sana. I'm so glad to join you today.
Okay, today I did a recent poll at Mobile Doctors Kenya, and I was talking about mental health. And how people recognize the sign and symptoms. So I gave different signs, the most common ones, and according to them, there were a few which were popular. So today we are going to talk about mental health issue, the causes, the sign and symptoms on how you can recognize them and how you can prevent them. Because according to the recent health statistics, it shows that mental health is on the rise. So how can we prevent ourselves from mental health and other conditions related to mental health? So join today with Alan. Let's see how we can go about it. Do you have any comment about it?
Sure. The first question I'll ask: do really people understand what mental health is?
Yeah, that is a good question. So what is mental health according to your own understanding?
I believe mental health will be, instability when it comes to the way you make your decision, the way you look into things, the way you interpret everything around you. Maybe there have been a distortion either because of the information that you're receiving or because of life experiences that you've gone through. So they are making you not make right decisions, regardless what you're going through. And then it will also affect the way you relate with other people, like the way you make decisions generally in life, it's not in line with how it should be when you are like you are when you're the, I don't want to use the word mental health to define mental health, like when you are normally and everything is as per expected by the normal functioning of the body.
Okay, and according to, because mental health plays a vital role in the well-being of someone,
Sure.
and what do you think our society has a role to play when it comes to mental health?
Of course, generally, the society has a role to play in each and everything that concerns a human being. That is mental health, physical health, talk about general health of a human being and all that. But again, there is a negative part of the society that the society plays when it comes to mental health, and there is the positive part that the society plays according to the mental health. And all these two parts that we've just talked about, the negative and the positive, it's all dependent on how how the community understands what mental health is. Because I'm so sure if we go to some of this community, you'll see people who have mental health problems, but they don't really know that they have mental health problems.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, with that, in such an environment where people don't understand what mental health is now, it becomes so hard for you to help them because you need to start with the basics of trying to explain to them what mental health is. Because again, I've visited places where, people are suffering from mild mental health issues, but there are people who think that they have been like someone has done the African magic or the African chemist against them. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, they call it uchawi.
Uchawi.
Yeah.
Like mtu amewaroga. Sio kurogwa.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, there are just a few life circumstances that happened, and then this person, never believed or never understood or never accepted. Then it took a toll on him. Depression, from depression it got to, because even depression, by the way, is just a mental health problem. Yeah?
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
But people take it as a normal thing.
So according to the recent poll that I did,
Sure.
most of the signs that I gave were: one, I lose interest in activities I used to enjoy. That is one symptom. Number two, I struggle with sleep, too much or too little. Either they sleep too much or too little. I feel overwhelmed, anxious, or sad most of the time. I withdraw from friends and family. I notice physical symptoms like headache, fatigue, stomach issue. I feel angry, irritable, or out of control. I don't recognize the sign until someone points them out, or the others who inbox me on how they feel. So the most recent common that were chosen was: one, losing interest in activity people used to enjoy. Like you find that you used to enjoy walking, you no longer enjoy it. Then number two, struggling with sleep. People are saying they either they find themselves sleeping too much or too little. Yeah. Other finds themselves withdrawing from friends and family. You find the person who was so close to you, maybe your siblings, or they were close to your parents, have withdrawn. And then another thing, they feel angry, irritable, or out of control. There's a person who will just be angry all the time.
Sure.
So those are the common symptoms that people chose, that's how they recognize, now I'm getting depressed, or I'm getting not well, I'm not in my mental well-being right now. So other symptoms that maybe people should be able to recognize are the one that we have said, that you might feel that you have a headache, you're too tired all the time, you have stomach issues, and yet you're going to the doctor to get to be diagnosed, and then they find no cause at all. So you're wondering, where is this headache coming from? All the lab works have been done, all the imagings have been done, but there is no other cause.
Sure.
So by the time they realize, it's too late, that it's just, I am having a
mental health problem.
A mental health problem, definitely. So what are the causes, so that we can, if we get to know about the symptoms, if we get to know about the causes now, we're going to be able to prevent ourselves in future.
It's obviously once you know the cause of something, it's easier for you to know how to go around it, to stop it from happening to other people and all that. And I think earlier as we began, we had mentioned some of the causes as we were running up on definition, and some of those causes might be, the normal occurrence. Okay, let me not use the word normal occurrences. What's normal to me might not be normal to you.
Yeah,
so the normal, why am I using this word normal? The natural life occurrences that happens around us, that might be, maybe someone has just lost her status, that is in terms of health. Working in the HIV world, you understand, once you've lost your positive status to the negative status, negative status to the positive status, to some other people it takes a whole toll onto them, and it's like they can't interpret and they can't understand what will happen to them next. They are trying to figure out the future, but they can't see the clear future because things are not just okay. Now, they were not using medication, but now they have to be on medication for the rest of their lives. They are thinking now, how will I explain, maybe in case of a marriage, how will I explain this to my wife? Is she in the same place that I'm in?
And how will I adapt?
Yes, how will I adapt? How will things start working? They have had all these other things that negative things people have said about HIV. Now, how will they bring into it? And then another thing would be the loss of jobs, your financial sources and all that. Then you've been living a very good life, and people around you know the life that you've been living.
Especially
and all that.
Right now, people are struggling with financial problems, and you find so many people have gotten into depression because of it. Yeah. And also the society, if you are used to a certain type of life, and then especially, sorry to say about this, when it comes to celebrities, when they get used to they are used to a certain kind of life, and then all of a sudden financials are cut short. What will happen? They'll start faking life. By the end of it all, you'll see that
something is happening to them. Because now they have got to a point where they can no longer fake. They have to be real, but things are not happening.
Or maybe you were living in a very good house, you had a very good stable job, and you have financial struggles.
Everything goes down.
Right now, people are really struggling with financial problems.
Yes, I was telling someone, if it continues the way it is in 2025, we will have very many cases of mental health problems. And there will be a lot of suicidal cases and a lot of crime along our streets that have been safe for this long, because no one will want to go sleep hungry and they can see me with the 500 shillings not in my hand.
Yeah.
It's either they take it, they ask me, give it to them, or if I won't give it to them, then they do something to take it.
Okay.
And if you have it and you cannot get it now, there are many people who will choose, like, why should I continue suffering in this world? Let me just do what end up my life. So that is another, by the way, sign of mental health issues. There are people who decide to, let me just end my life and it will be over with me and I will live a happy life on the other end. But no one has ever gone to the other end and come back to tell us that there's a happy life there. So
also as not going too far, in the medical field, so many people are losing their life.
Sure.
Because the society expectation is when you become a doctor, you your financial status
Stable.
goes
Ooh,
yeah,
it's a good reputation. Who
and then
doesn't
from
want to
there
vibe
you
with
go
a
to
doctor?
internship. Yeah?
Who doesn't want to vibe with a doctor?
You go to internship, you find yourself. I'm really struggling. Yeah. And by the way, not just for laughs, but a lot of youths in the medical field, especially the internship, have recently lost their lives because they are really struggling.
Yeah.
Recently, there was a case. Yeah. There was a case about a suicide. There was a case about a suicide, and
then for societal challenges, first of all, we are the society. And the society is that, so we cannot run away from the society.
definitely.
The only thing we can do is to create awareness to the society that this is what happens, and when it happens, this is what we have to do. But again, the society is built on given individuals like me and you. If we come together, we are now a society. When you're alone, you're not a society until someone is joins for you to become a community. And this is where I'll say we need to take consider more of self-care.
Yeah.
Once I look into myself and know this is what will make me be depressed, this is what will make me not get peace in what I'm doing and every place I'm going, at my workplace and all that, I should start putting boundaries. Like, I don't want to go beyond. You mentioned something about living an expensive life.
Yeah.
Now, how do I manage my finances? How do I get a place that I can afford even when I'm not working? Is it possible for me to do that? We talk about, the art of saving. How much should I save? Just in case I'm losing my job, will I be able to do
Preparation
yes,
for tomorrow.
you prepare for tomorrow
Yeah.
by at least saving something, because no one knows what will happen next. Where we are employed, we are not employed there permanently.
Definitely.
If you're employed permanently, well and good. And if you're sure the firm that has employed you will always be there, well and good. But even if you're employed permanently with an NGO, anything can happen within there can be a political instability in that country, then the NGO goes away.
Yeah.
Will you still be getting a place to get what you really want and all that?
Yeah.
Then number two, again, I feel we should also be very careful with the information that we are feeding ourselves on. If we feed on more of negativities, we'll always be thinking of negative and seeing negativities ahead of us. But if we feed ourselves on most of the positives, it's much better for us. It will be better for us to handle some of the challenges that we're going through in life. Yep.
And learning to be content with what we have.
And that is the most important thing. You just learn to be content. Like, I have a kabambe. Okay, I'll work hard to get a smartphone tomorrow, but for now, let me use this kabambe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Also, another thing about not about just when we talk about employment and losing jobs, and we find people tend to go towards a certain addiction, which is really bad. Okay, you find that people tend to find another, once they lose a job or there is a certain life change, they tend to get an addiction. There are those people who will get addicted to alcohol. That is one thing, and they will end up in a very devastating situation or state of life, which is also bad. Also, another thing that we are talking about is lack of support system, and that's why we are talking about societal pressure.
Sure.
You find that the society or the person who are supposed to give you support are the one challenging you, even when you are undergoing a mental health situation, that is. So you find that maybe you find you're competing with your own siblings, or the siblings are competing with you. Yeah, or against you, or even your parents. There are certain state whereby your parents expect this and that from you, or your relatives basically expect this and that from you, and you cannot be able even to manage it in your own livelihood. So you find that people get stressed often because they want to prove to them that I can do better. And that's where self-care comes about.
Sure.
Whereby once you learn to be content and to take care of yourself, then you'll be able to manage the stresses that come from the society. Yeah.
So yeah, it's really, really, really important. But those are the things that we will never ever lack in our walk of life. They will always be there. There's you mentioned about sibling rivalry. There is the over expectations from your parents. They educated you. You are a doctor and you've graduated and you're working for them. They know as a doctor, you're earning a lot of money. So again, there are always other challenges that come in work. Like you have a family, yeah? You need to take care of your family. You need to take care of your parents. You need to take care of your brothers and sisters who are younger. Maybe you're the firstborn. You see, it's all taking a toll onto you, and what you're earning cannot sustain all these issues. So when they expect that much from you, and they're not giving you the support that is needed, then you will lose yourself and all that, because you're always suffering. Whatever you're getting is going out, and you're getting nothing out of it. And when you don't even have anything, they still expect you to do more, to continue doing what you used to do and all that. So I believe as a society, when someone gets to that point where things are not working the way they used to work, I was thinking about it today in the morning. Do you check on your friends? Just to call them and ask them, how are you doing? Just call on them. Don't call them when they have what you want. You can just even call them when they don't have what you want, just to check on them and see, are they okay? Bro, are you okay? How can we help? Do you have time that we can talk? Is there any challenge that you're going through that we can share and see what we can do? I believe that is the support that we need from our brothers and sisters and the community at large, and our parents. And then there are that very toxic parents, by the way. As much as you give them, they will never even appreciate.
Content,
Yes, they'll never be content with
They'll
what you
keep
give
pushing you and pushing
Yes, even if you die and give them, they will never be contented with whatever is happening, because there are always those challenges. But I think it's a high time we need to start creating awareness in our communities, from our own families to the next family to the next family, for people to know how to support people who are going through this, because we don't want to continue burying more people that, because of reasons that we could have avoided, or because of reasons that we could have found a solution to them. Yeah.
Okay, so mostly, what's the most of the causes you've seen among the youths?
One is peer pressure, because I want to live the life that you're living.
Yeah.
We've recently heard of the cases in this country. That's not a mental case. I'm just using it as a peer pressure case. You see, when people post whatever they post, how they are flaunting their wealth and money on social media, every young person thinks that's the way. That's the way. The problem is we don't know how they get their money. Some of them will come in and lie, this is how we get their money. And introduce what you call what are these things that they have? Trading, whatever, crypto, cryptocurrency, and some will say it's whatever they are saying. Then there are people who also start investing in cryptocurrency with everything they have. Before you know, that money is gone completely, and you'll never have it. Someone else does of the same. Then you hear of cases where someone took the whole school fees. Okay, the very good example is Flyaway, how do you call it? Aviator, that is on most of these betting companies. That is Betika, SportPesa.
But most of them are regulated.
Yes, but there are cases where someone has taken the whole school fee. A young person has taken the whole school because he wants to double the school fee to something. 100,000, he wants to get 200,000 instantly. Then, the pilot flies away with it 100,000. There's a young person starts thinking now, what will I tell my parent? Where will I get this money to replace? Now, if they don't get that money to replace, they're out of school. They will never tell their parents they're out of school. Now, it's easy for them to engage in other illegal activities like selling drugs on the street for them to raise that money to go pay the school fees.
Yeah.
But remember, once they've been introduced to that, it's so hard for you to come back to your senses and do that. So that's just an example of what young people, like the sources of depression and mental health challenges to young people within. Then number 2, you have relationships.
Yeah.
Yes.
Still among the youth.
Still among the youth, wanasema wanapendana. Do you guys really know what love is? Do you really know what love is, guys? Okay, I don't know. But even me myself, I don't know what love is, because the young say they love, the old say they love, the middle-aged say they love, but none of them can ever give you a definition of love. So relationships are another issue that is breaking up very many young people. They invest in the other person, thinking that the other person will be there for them. What they don't know is life changes and things do change. When they become broke, the other person needs to go to the other person to another person who is well up than the other one. Yeah. Then to them it takes a toll, and it's like, oh, I never knew about this. There are those cases of homicide cases, some femicide cases we've had.
The femicides are too often
in this country, and most of them look at them, it's because of depression. Huwezi kula tu pesa yangu na nikuache hivyo. Lazima kaende, tutabadilishana majengo ya serikali, mimi niende jela na uende mochari.
Act out actually.
Of course.
And also among the youths, you find that people are dating the so-called sponsors.
Sure.
Yeah, so you find that a certain person, let me use my name, Mercy is living this kind of life, I want this kind of life. So they'll go for maybe a sponsor or a certain person who has money so that they can also live such kind of life.
Sure.
So you find that by the end, either they will get diseases, because this kind of a person who has that money is not just having you. So either they will end up with
he's not sponsoring you like he's
like alone. So
yeah.
you'll either your physical health won't be good.
Sure.
Yeah, or either you can get different diseases from there. So among the youths, let's see, what can you tell the youth, by the way?
I think one thing I've learned for this very many and very less years I've lived in this world, I've become much wiser to know that patience pays, and there's none that comes easy. You have to work for it, and not just today. You have to consistently work on it. Nothing good comes so easily. And that's why the old people, like women, mnapendanga kukatiana sana. Mkiwa wadogo mnakatia wakubwa wenye wababa wenye wako na pesa, si ndio? Mnakatia wababa sababu wako na pesa. Sisemi wewe, nasema wale wanawake wengine. Unaniangalia just like what I'm trying to say is that women, when they are at that young age, university age, let me say from 18 to 25, they date upwards.
Yeah.
Why are they dating upwards?
Let's say let me not talk about it much because I'm not an expert on that.
Okay, let the expert talk about it.
Yeah, let the expert talk about it. But there's this certain, I don't know if it's a myth whereby you find that the girls, let me call the girls or the young girls or the young youths, they want to date upwards because they think they are mature enough, and the other usual the age mates are not, they are immature. Sorry to use that
it's
word.
Okay, that is one reason, and another reason would be they're dating upwards because the upward guys, the guys who are older than them, 10 years 20 years older than them, they're
stable.
Yeah, they are stable financially.
And one thing I can tell the youths, ladies, if you find a man who is or who is stable, also ensure that you're getting into that relationship when you're stable.
That's one thing they need to consider.
Because if you don't, you're going to end up, and that is what is happening currently. You find that people, you'll get into, you have your own instability. You get into a place where the person is there on the other end is stable, and you find that the other party is stressing you.
That is true.
Yeah.
And that's why the reason why they're dating, I would say they're dating one reason because they believe those guys are mature. Number two, because these guys have moolah. And the question you need to ask yourself, and this is to both girls and boys, because there are boys who are also dating mamas. Why are they dating mamas? So that mamas can take care of their bills and all that.
Yeah.
The question we need to ask ourselves, the critical question we need to ask ourselves on this is, I am 20 years old. I'm dating a mama who is 40 years old. This mama in 20 years old, and when this mama was 20 years old, was as broke as I am. So it has taken this mama 20 years to accumulate that wealth. Like 20 years of consistency and hard work for her to accumulate that wealth.
Yeah.
Yes, it has taken this man 20 years of consistency and hard work to accumulate the money that, no, why can't I wait, also work hard consistently to wait for me to get that money? So that is where we talk about being patient. Patience is not an easy thing to work it out, especially when there's a lot of peer pressure around you. But it's something that is worthy it. Because once you start eating your own money, you'll enjoy it because it's not there's nothing attached to this money. And I can spend it the way I want without
and don't
having...
forget the last time we talked about HPV.
Sure.
So you'll end up transmitting HPV to your other...
and this, yes, and this is, by the way, even to the old people who are funding these young girls. You're a mubaba of 40 years dating a 20-year-old girl, and you know very well you won't marry that girl. You won't marry that girl at any point. You're just using her for your last issues, and you give her the money and all that. And then you transmit HIV to her. And then, by good luck, I don't want to say by bad luck, by good luck, this young girl meets your son who is 25.
Yeah.
Then your son marries her. Clap for yourself, Mubaba. Clap for yourself,
What
Mama.
goes around?
What goes around comes around. The shit that you did has come back knocking at your door. So you and your wife, you are HIV positive.
And then we'll start mental health issues.
Let me laugh. You and your wife, you're HIV positive. Now, you brought it to your son. Okay, what you're trying to say is, I'm not apologizing for laughing about it because it's some of the silly decisions we make. What are we trying to say is, can we try to make our world a better place to live? Because that is what we really are looking for.
Yeah.
Once it translates to a health problem in the family, mentally, depression first. Depression takes a toll, mental issues.
Yeah.
It gets to that level where it's irreversible. Is there any time where it becomes more irreversible? It takes a toll to someone completely, and then it's
Definitely,
irreversible.
and you cannot even regain the years you've lost or the time you've lost
Sure.
trying to. So, as much as you're going to get better or get to a certain position, you're not becoming any younger. Yeah.
And it's costly, yeah?
Yeah, it's very costly when it's at the end stage. So let's go back to what about the adult, not just the youth. What about in the elder group?
The elderly groups. That one would be talk about relationship, because we've seen
The
breakups.
marriage.
Yes, marriage has been another big problem, not just in this country but in the world at large. And marriages have led people to suicidal cases. We've had suicidal cases. We've had people killing other people because of their properties, for the GBV and all that. And those are some of that are taking toll to other people. And then to the older people, I believe that the physical health again, their physical health. There are those diseases that comes with age.
Yeah.
There are those diseases that come with age, and some people don't fully understand what it means. They feel like mbona nimekuanga tu vizuri, nimefika this age, siezi simama, siezi tembea. They don't really understand its aging. And then another big challenge in it's unspoken of, but it's really big. It's there are those gender diseases, like diseases that comes because of gender, female and male, and sometimes
they're more prevalent.
Yeah, in female.
Than male.
Now, if you're a husband and you don't understand what's happening with your wife, you'll start feeling like maybe kuna kitu anafanya sio mzuri, and that will lead you to be depressed that much. Ndio wanaanza kusema nimeishi na hizi miaka zote sikuwa najua, 20 years in marriage and I never knew this. Kwani umekuwa ukifanya hizi vitu bila kujua? Even if the wife tries to explain, the mind might not fully understand. And what if the wife doesn't know it's an age problem or a gender
related or gender
related health condition? She might not explain that. No. And once she fails to explain that, the other person will feel like wewe umekuwa ukinibeba ufa.
Even not going far, you find that in marriages, once the woman becomes pregnant, there are changes in the body that take place. And you'll find that if they are not well taken care of, they undergo stresses, and you find during the postpartum they can also get depressed, or they can have baby blues, or postpartum depression. And it's quite serious because most of them tend to suicide or infanticide. You find that they are killing the babies because they are like, without this
I wouldn't have gone through.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone through.
And those are some of the cases where some of them throw their babies away because they don't want to associate themselves with those babies.
Yeah, they kill, or you find a person abandoning their baby, and then you are like, in the kawaida, it's not. So there are those bodily changes that happen during pregnancy. I think people, before you get into marriage, it's also good to get into a counseling session so that you get to understand what's going on, the life changes that you're about to face. And number 2, even when you're in marriages, it's also good to seek physical therapy, I can say that, and also counseling sessions. So
just once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while. Or you just have maybe in a week, have one day in a week whereby you're sitting down and analyzing everything, may it be physical, may it be financial, may it be mental, so that at least you can be able to face these things together, so that one of you doesn't get depressed and then you end up divorcing.
Yes, you
which
end up
will cause
divorcing.
more other mental
Complications and deeper depression
Yeah.
that will lead you to complete, suppression, and you will never be able to come out of that case.
Yeah.
So I think those are the main thing. I would like us to talk about religion also being another source of mental
Stress.
health problems and source of stress. And we've had very many people who've trusted their men, quote unquote, men and women of God, with secrets and wealth and riches, and
And they were duped.
and they were duped completely to to finally come up to a point where you don't have your piece of land is gone, your house is gone, you don't have a job, that man of God no longer speaks about you, and you don't know where to go to.
Even okay, the religion, let me talk when people say maybe you're diagnosed with a certain condition, maybe cancer or diabetes or hypertension or even HIV, and then you go to church, you have been medicated, it has been diagnosed and you've been medicated, and you are quite doing well with the medicine, and then you go, you get prayed. I'm not saying that you should not get prayed for.
Prayers are good,
Yeah.
but
Then you go, they tell you, oh, you're going to get better, we'll heal you. And then you go. Miracles do happen. But even if they pray for you, continue taking the medication.
sure.
Yeah, continue taking the medication religiously now so that you can be able to fight this disease or at least prevent its complication.
Yeah, and even to prove that you're healing, okay, miracles do happen and people are prayed for and they get healed. We cannot do away with that or undo that. That is a fact. But as I pray for you as a pastor or as your pastor, and then I tell you that you're healed in the name of Jesus and all that, I think there should be a doctor's follow up from the doctor to prove that you've been
You're
healed.
okay, yeah.
Yes, it's not just me saying
And a
it.
follow up is not a one time thing.
Of course, it's not a
Yeah.
one-time thing. It's something that we'll have to go for some time, consistently
yeah.
for some time to prove that you are. And that's a very good case where Jesus healed, even in the Bible, Jesus healed these guys with leprosy. And he sent them back to he sent them back to the Pharisees to be examined by the law of Moses to see whether they have been healed or they have not been healed. So if Jesus did that, why should we pastors also allow other people to be examined by doctors, not staged doctors, underline
But
that, not staged
doctor who
doctors.
diagnosed
Yes,
symptoms.
yes.
Yeah.
If it's a case of HIV and they've been taking medication in a given hospital, they can go there, and that will take time. After you have to undergo test after every 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, and all that to see whether, for a period of at least 1 or 2 years, to see whether it's completely out and all that. And we're not talking about those stage doctors because they are men of God who will also let me not call them men of God, quote unquote. Men of God, these wolves in a sheep's skin, men of God and women of God, who stage the doctors, like they come and tell you, hey, Dr. Mercy, niko busy na hii busy iko hivi na hivi na hivi, kuna inalipa poa, kuna wazee naombea huko na nawaambia wamepona, wakikuja hapa for prescription waambie wamepona, wasitumie hizo dawa, ndo jina yetu iendelee, tupate more customers. There are those cases. We heard of such a cases and all that. So we are not talking about such a doctors. We're talking about genuine people who will help you to understand what is really happening with you. Yep.
So we cannot exhaust all causes, but differently, all different stages in life, you'll experience a certain state whereby it will either depress you or stress you. And recently, the H. pylori has been on the rise.
By the way,
Stress-induced H. pylori.
Oh, it's not like parasitic-induced
ulcer.
No, it's not parasitic-induced H. pylori. It's more of stress-induced.
Yeah.
Ama hii tumbo yangu jina niuma ni ya stress. Wewe.
So let's try and learn how to alleviate ourselves, or how to get away, or how to prevent ourselves from getting stressed. Because recently, when you're diagnosed with the H. pylori or gastritis, or they call them ulcer, vidonda tumbo, ulcer. So when you're diagnosed with them, get to know why you're getting diagnosed with them, because others are stress induced. You find yourself having a heartburn every now and then, headaches here and there. Those stomach issues, most of them are due to stress. So instead of you getting, and when you come to the hospital, definitely, and we find you have gastritis, we're going to give medication. Yeah. But if we do not eliminate the cause, this stress we do
It
not
just will come
eliminate,
back.
it'll still come back. And it will come back again and again. So let us try to learn how we can, on that topic, how can we prevent ourselves from getting stressed?
I think we cannot avoid stressful issues or occurrences in our lives. What we can do is the self-care. How let us have boundaries. How far can I go? If I don't have this, I don't have this. Yes. If I feel like I cannot achieve a given goal, you can always postpone it. Postpone that goal to something else. Like, you don't have to die doing it, because if you die, you'll never achieve it. But if I push it to the next month, okay, I was to raise 100,000 today for maybe to pay a loan, because that is the hardest thing that eats up each and every time.
Yeah.
It's us up each and every time. I was to raise 100,000 today to pay a loan. Then I've tried everything possible. I've not raised that money. I think talking to those guys and extending that time for a given time will be better. But there are those people who will never understand you at any point. Watakuja, they will auction you and take everything. So when it comes to that point, it's always just good to leave the nature to take course.
So setting boundaries,
Yes.
you've said, learn to say no,
Yep.
and also prioritize your well-being.
Sure.
Because if you don't prioritize your mental well-being, there are people who will come and tell you, we have this, you have this, you owe us this debt, as you've said. Maybe it may be 100,000, it might be 2 million, it might be 10 million, and you do not have it. So what can you do?
I think
Talk to them. If they cannot hear you out,
let them take whatever they want to
Yes.
take, because
your mental health
comes
matters.
first on all this. And
Yeah.
once you're mentally sober and okay, you can still work and gain even more
Regain
than
more,
what you
yeah.
lost.
Yeah.
So don't let it take a toll onto you. It's like start fighting them and all that, causing all this drama. It will bring more trouble and problems to you and all that. So sometimes in life we have to let go some things for us to get some other things. And at a given point, you can let go the best and not even ever get that best, but
Yeah.
your life is better than anything else. So
Definitely.
prioritize yourself. That is first self-care. Do boundaries. Understand the world around you.
Also, yeah, on self-care, also, again, you find that maybe you enjoy this activity, like meditate. Learn to meditate, learn to take a walk, learn to relax, so that you can at least be in a better position to start your day. Even when you have applied like 1,000,000 jobs, they are not coming through. Relax, there is always a tomorrow. Continue doing so persistently, but don't get stressed. Learn to relax, learn to enjoy other activities, and learn to be innovative, so that we can at least get ourselves at a better place.
Sure, and be content with the little that you have. I think that is where I'll end it.
Yeah, also connect with others.
Wow, most important.
Yeah.
Networking, because by the way, connecting with others are very key. It's a very good network because you can simply there are problems that you can also solve just by talking
Yeah.
talking it out.
Yeah.
Because when I come to you, I feel like I'm depressed. I have a loan of 100,000, and it's really taking a toll on me. And then I explain that to you, and then you tell me, "Oh, bro, I have a loan of 2 million." I feel like, oh, so like you see, it's all negative, but there's a way the negative has encouraged me not to think like ni mimi tu peke yangu na mambo inaenda kuwa mabaya kwangu and all that.
Yeah.
So making friends and networking is a very good thing, because you can only get something from another person. No one knows what the other person has until you ask them. As the Bible says, ask and shall be given unto you, seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be opened unto you. You cannot knock on an empty door. You know where people are. And if you sit alone in your house and you don't want to go outside and talk to people, you can never solve your problem.
Definitely. So also those relationships do help. Have you ever gotten into a situation whereby you're stressed about something else and you go talk to your friends? Maybe you're in a group of people and then another person talk to about their problems and they are like,
Yeah.
mine is nothing.
I think this year has been that year. You see, this year has been so tough economically, not to a few individuals, but I'll say to 70% of the Kenyans. It has been, not even Kenyans, the world at large. It has really taken a toll to very many people. And the moment you feel your problem is bigger, you talk to another person, it's like, oh, oh bro, sorry, how can I pray for you, or how can I come in for you? How can I help you on that? So yeah, I have been there.
Okay, also learn to seek help. There are people who are offering helps like Chiromo, yeah, mental health. It's also offering, and it's free. There is Red Cross, which has a free toll number of 1199 if you have an issue and you want to talk to them. And also at Mobile Doctor Kenya, you can reach to us, have a discussion with us. We won't charge you in this case. If it's all about mental health, let us talk freely. Tell us what's bothering you. Let's connect you with those counselors. Let's connect you with those people who can be able to help you, so that at least we can make your world better with just a little smile, right? And also remember, it's okay not to be okay. Recognizing the signs early will help you, so that you can prevent the complications. Because when mental health takes a toll on you, everything shuts. From the physical well-being will shut down, and people will start saying wewe ni mwenda wazimu. But then there is that stigma you have not talked about related to mental health. Let's talk about it right now.
Wanasema kichwa huyu kichwa imeenda.
Yeah.
And by the way, there are those who literally do that and dress and they start walking, and they even live in dirty places because they fully don't understand what's happening.
Now that is the
extreme,
the extreme stage, yeah.
And that's why she said we should look into it as early as possible. The stigma comes in, and to that point, wanaanza kusema huyu amerogwa, like the African chemistry has done something.
Or you're even afraid to talk to your friends because you feel if nikiwaambia I'm stressed, they will say that I am mwenda wazimu.
I say this.
Yeah.
This is very key to each and every individual. I'm trying to work it out. Please, when you're in need, ask for help. For Christians, asking for help is your biblical obligation. It's your biblical responsibility. Ask for help. It doesn't matter whoever you're asking the help from. He can be a stranger. It's good. Explain yourself to that stranger. Tell them this is my situation and I need help. Whether they help you or not, you've played your role. You've played your role. Or rather than keeping quiet when someone somewhere will wish to help. Whether they give you and start talking about you on the other end, that is not your problem. It's them who are sinning, not you. For you, you've done what the Bible asks you to do, to ask for help. Yep. So whether they'll talk about you and all that. And the worst case is some people get themselves to such a level, they are depressed, then wanapelekwa kwa mganga wa kienyeji kwenda kutibiwa. Na huyu msa hataki afai mganga wa kienyeji, anafaa tu akalishwe tu hapo chini, aongeleshwe, apatiwe vitu 2-3, then with close to 1 month or 3 months atakuwa ako sawa. Na mnampeleka kwa mganga wa kienyeji. Mnaharibu kuliko kufanya nini? Kutengeneza. Not every mental case ni sababu ya uchawi. Not every mental illness case is sababu ya uchawi.
And people need to remove that mindset about uchawi.
Sure.
Yeah. Just remove it completely. Everything has a cost. And as we said, even in mental well-being, if you are mentally challenged or you have a mental issues, there's a cost. Get to know the root cause of these things so that you can be able to cure or prevent it. Because if you don't recognize it, and then you start going to those cons, you'll end up being drained financially, and maybe it's financial issues that were depressing you. And then you go to that person, and then you get drained.
Wait, it's a financial issue suffering from, and you're using more finances instead of solving your issue to go to a muganga. You see how human beings are so idiots. We're idiots sometimes. I think it's just critically looking into issues, and I think it all goes back to having knowledge of what you're doing. Yeah.
And here in this channel, we are all giving you knowledge on preventative care because we got you. We know people are suffering out there, and little knowledge is better than no knowledge at all.
And that's why we simply ask you to support us, and the only support you're asking from you is to subscribe. Hiyo tu peke yake, just subscribe, because you subscribe, you maintain us on the airwaves. You don't subscribe, we go down there. And the moment you go down there, there's no any other YouTube channel that will give you the information you're giving you. So you'll end up losing your life, or someone else close to you losing your life. We always say it's either you're infected or affected. So if it's not happening to you, it's happening to your neighbor. If it's happening to your neighbor, you still have to chip in something. Yep. And
let's know in the comments below how you're dealing with mental prevention or mental health issues, and we will appreciate. So until then, bye.
Make sure you subscribe. It's lot monge.